everybody, and welcome back to another math lesson with yours truly, Mr. McCluskey here. So, today we are looking at something called equivalent fractions. Equivalent. If I say that slow, do you recognize another word that's inside that word? Equivalent. Equivalent. Equal. Equal is the sign that we are looking for, right? Right here, equals. So, now we are looking at fractions that might look different, but in reality, they are actually the same number. So, let's take a look here. A parent and a child were sharing a cake, so the parent divided it into two pieces. All right, so you can see they divided it here into two pieces. The child said he wanted two pieces, so the parent cut the cake again. So you can see now they cut it one down and one across. Did the child get more cake by getting two pieces? So let's take a look here. Did they get more cake? Let's do an example. So on this one here, the fraction is 1/2, right? And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many are shaded? Are 2. Now, how can we tell that these are the same thing? So something we like to do here is to get the fractions in the smallest form. So can we divide 2 or 4 to get that into a smaller number, right? What can we divide it by to get it into a smaller number? We're going to divide it by 2. So we can divide 2 by 2, right? That equals 1. And we can divide 4 by 2, and that equals 2. So look at, if we divided these by 2 here to make it look smaller, it ends up equaling the same one, right? So we see that their two fractions originally, 2/4 and 1/2, actually are the exact same number. So that's what we're looking at today, all right? So let's move on to some more questions. So this one pretty much says the same thing. It says these fractions are equivalent because the pictures have the same amount shaded, right? So that's the same thing we looked at. This amount is shaded, and look at it, it's the exact same amount shaded there. So it says both people get twice as many pieces, but the same amount of cake, right? So here, this person gets twice as amount of pieces because there's 2, and this person gets 1, right? So 1 times 2 equals 2. So they know that this person right here gets twice as many pieces, but since it's the same amount shaded, they're equal to each other. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here, what it wants you to do is copy the pictures, so each one of these A, B, C, D, into your notebook, and then we're going to break it in half to create an equivalent fraction. So let's first go through and let's write the original fraction. All right, so for A, how many pieces do we have? We have 1, 2, and 3, so we know 3 goes on the bottom because that's the total amount of pieces we have. And how many is shaded? 1. So we know 1 goes on the top because that's how many pieces are shaded. B, we have 3 again, so we know 3 goes on the bottom. And how many pieces do we have shaded? 1, 2. We know that goes on the top. Awesome. So now how many you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know 4 goes on the bottom. And how many are shaded are 1. So we have that fraction. And now we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the bottom. How many are shaded? 1, 2, 3. And now 3 are shaded there. Excellent. Okay, so now we got to cut these in half to show what they're going to be equivalent to. So let's just draw a line here. I know this might not be exactly in half because I don't have a ruler on this computer, but we'll see how it works. Okay, so now just to take these guys off. So remember, this one was 1/3. This one was 1/4. This one was 2. Oh, I'm gonna write here. Actually, I can write it 2/3. And this one, it was 3/4. Now, how many do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Right, 6 in total. And how many are shaded? 2. Now, remember, we're able to divide this one by 2, right? So just to make sure it's actually an equivalent fraction. So let's divide it by 2. Both the top and the bottom. What do we get? 1/3. So now we know 2/6 and 1/3 are equal to each other. They're the same fraction. Let's go to number B, or letter B. So we know that's 2/3, and let's find out what an equivalent fraction of that could be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 in total. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes 4 over 6. Now, are we able to make this smaller? Does 4 divide by 2? I think so. Does 6 divide by 2? I think so. What does this equal? 2 over 3. That's the same, and that's the same. Looks like they're equivalent fractions. Excellent. So let's go down here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8. And how many? 1, 2. 2. Oh, can we divide this by 2 again? I think so. Divide by 2, divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. It equals 1/4. So we know 2 over 8 and 1 over 4 are equal fractions. Now, let's look at this last one here. So we have 3/4. So that means 3 over 4. And now let's find out how many do we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 on the bottom, and how many on top? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Now let's see, can 6 be divided by 2? I think so. And can 8 be divided by 2? I also think so. So what's 6 divided by 2? That equals 3. And what's 8 divided by 2? That equals 4. So we know that 6/8 is the same as 3/4, because if we reduced it by dividing it by 2 on the top and the bottom, we get the same here. So we know that 6/8 is equal to 3/4. Awesome. If you need to rewatch that again, go for it and do it. And then we're going to move on, okay? All right, so now we're going back to the same kind of wording we saw in the last unit that we did on pictographs. It's saying, and regular bar graphs, it's saying how many times as many parts are in the first picture compared to the second picture. So it's saying how many more parts are in the first picture compared to the second picture. And what do we need to multiply that, the second picture, by to get the same amount of parts as the first picture? So let's take a look there. Let's use our red. So this one here has, I'm just going to draw it more defined. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this has 8 parts, and this has 1, 2 parts. So what do we need to multiply by for 2 to become 8? What do we need to multiply by for 2 to become 8? We need to multiply by 4. So that means that this picture here, it needs to be multiplied by 4 to get the amount of spaces here. So this picture here is has 4 times as many parts. Awesome. So let's go on to B. So we have 1, 2, 3 in this one. And let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in this one. So what do we need to multiply 3 by to get 6? I know you all know this. So this picture here has 2 times as many parts. Alrighty. So we're on the second last one here, letter C. So this one has 2, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So what do we need to multiply 2 by to get 6? I know you know this. So this one has 3 times as many parts. Awesome. Now look at this one. 1, 2, 3. So this one has 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This one has 12. All right, this one might be more tricky. So what do we need to multiply 3 by to get 12? Right? So if I went like something like this, 3 times what equals 12? 3 times what equals 12? What could we multiply that by? Sure, you know, if not, open up your planners, right? Because we have a multiplication table in there and you can use that. So it is 4 times as many parts. You don't need to write as many parts. I'm just writing it here so that you can see how we're doing each one, all right? Let's move on to the next one. Excellent. So now on this one, what we are doing is we're just looking at the shaded parts. So how many more does the first picture have shaded parts than the first picture? So let's take a look here. In this first one, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4, and this is 1. So what do we need to multiply 4 by to get 1? 4. So this one has, I'm just going to write 4 times there, 4 times as many parts, shaded. All right, now let's look at this one. This has 1, and this has 1, 2. So what do we need to multiply 1 by to get 2? All right, let's take a look again. What do we need to multiply 1 times what equals 2? Whew. I think we all know that one. It is 2. So this one is 2 times as many shaded parts. All right, let's look at this one. So now this has 1 here, and 1, 2, 3. Draw the lines across. 3. So 1 times what equals 3? I know we all know this. Any time we multiply something by 1, it also becomes that number, right? So it is 3 times as many parts. Now look at this one. This one has 2, and in here, how many shaded parts do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Wow, all right. So 2 times what equals 8? 2 times what equals 8? If you're having troubles, right, make sure you're using your multiplication chart. I'm going to allow you to use that, especially in tests too, right? You'll be able to. So 2 times what equals 8? That equals 4. So this here has 4 times as many shaded parts. They might not be bigger parts, but they are shaded parts. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now we have to write equivalent fractions for the shaded parts. Remember we did that last time, and now we're just doing the exact same thing. So let's go through it. So what is this shaded part on this one is exactly 1/2 here. So we can write 1/2. Now on this one here, let's count up how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 goes on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes on the top. Now we can just look at this one, right? Is this half? And that's half? So we know. But if you wanted to double check, remember we can reduce it. So we can divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And that ends up equaling 2/4. Now can we reduce that even more? I think so. We can divide the top by 2 again and the bottom by 2 again. And that equals 1/2. So we know that 4/8 is the same as 1/2 because we're allowed to reduce it into the smallest fraction. That one might look a little difficult. If you wrote 4/8 and 1/2 and you know just by looking at the picture that they're equivalent, I'm cool with that. This is just showing you that you're able to double check and prove that that is the right answer. So let's look at this one. This one is 1/3. And on here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is on the bottom. And 1, 2 is on the top. So once again, we can look at, we know that is the same shaded amount. So we know that they're going to be the same. But if you wanted to double check, let's bring it to a smaller fraction. So divide the top and the bottom by 2, and that's going to equal 1/3, which is the same to this guy here. Excellent. Let's move on to this one here. So here we have 1/2 again. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3/6. And this one, so right, we can look at it just like that, and we know that it is going to be equal. Or what do we know? If we look at 3 and 6, right? What is half of 6? We know it's 3. So we can know that just by using our amazing brains and our math skills and know that that's going to be the same fraction as 1/2 because half of 6 is 3. So let's look here. 1, 2, 3. So that's 2/3 because 2 of them are shaded. And now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 on the bottom. And how many shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the top. So once again, right, we can look and we see that these are equal just by using our vision. But if you want to prove right here that it's the same, let's figure out, what can we divide 8 by? 8 can be divided by 4, can't it? And 12 can also be divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 equals what? 2. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So we know that 8 over 12 is the same as 2 over 3. Awesome. This one might be a little confusing, so I want you to watch this one, maybe watch a couple other videos on it, and I know you'll be able to get it, okay? And ask me if you need any help. So right here, let's look. This is our last one we're doing together. We can use the same picture to show two fractions. Hint, you can look at the bigger parts or the smaller parts. Okay, so to show two fractions. So let's see. It looks to me like they have to be equivalent fractions because they're together here. So let's use the bigger parts. So that's just this box, and this box. So how many boxes do we have? 1, 2, 3. So 3 is going to go on the bottom. How many shaded do we have? 2. So 2 is going to go on top. And now we got to do the same thing before. Let's break it down into different boxes. So now how many do we have? We have 12. And how many do you have shaded? 8. So we just did this one. So I'm just going to show you that that is another way of being able to look at it. Awesome. All right. So good to have this lesson finished for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you soon. Awesome. Have a great day, everyone.